Hi everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and also it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I hope you're all keeping well. If you've been watching any national news or if you're a local yokel, you know that we've been having some real weather problems here on the Central Coast, and yeah, it's been tough, very tough week. I didn't have power at my place for like 3 days, but other people it's been 5, 6, 10 days. It's been bad. So also there's a problem with the deliveries getting through because the road that is where the Salinas River is, they've been having to have road closures because that water's coming up so high. We're going to be an island in Monterey very soon because there's another big storm coming next week. But we've even had staff members that can't get to work because the road closures and all that. Anyway, long story short, a lot of shipments are delayed or late or just they're having trouble just working their way around to get into the city. But I still have a small pile of things to show you, and just so we can kind of get to it. Hi, if you're new here, we're not normally like underwater like this, but this is a channel where we talk about the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out today on Friday or just recently, and they've now just kind of come into stock. But anyway, I always start with my pick of the week, and you'll see there's a list down below that kind of goes in alphabetical order with prices, and you will also see that we're only going to talk about a handful of things, and the list is much longer, but it's just for your reference so that you can kind of get an idea what prices are like and how vinyl prices are skyrocketing through the roof. And it also lets you see what else came out today that we're not chatting about right now. Okay, so my pick of the week is actually the chirping in the background is a clock that goes off on the hour, so just try to ignore it. It'll go away in a minute. Anyway, my pick for you this week is Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and it's called V, or the Roman numeral 5. And I'm trying to keep that glare off of there for you so you can actually see the cover there. Comes to us through Jaguar. Now, this was created between Palm Springs, California and Hilo, Hawaii. It's the first double album from Hawaiian New Zealand singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and producer Ruben Nielsen. And Unknown Mortal Orchestra band is basically him, and he has a couple of longtime players that have been with him over the years, but it's his baby. And this record is kind of made to be designed to be played in one continuous movement, and it's kind of the definitive Unknown Mortal Orchestra car record, road trip record. This is also the fifth full-length album that Ruben has released in 12 years. And across 14 of these songs, written solo or with his brother Cody, Ruben draws from this rich tradition of West Coast AOR, yacht rock, weirdo pop, and Hawaiian hapahali music. So over this like laid back sort of sing-song anthems and cinematic instrumentals, and like afternoons of blue sky, lounging by the pool, that kind of feeling. But it also has this sort of darkness that lurks below that perfect scene. He's very talented, and he really knows how to evoke a mood. And he reunited with his brother at his cousin's wedding in Hawaii, and with the assistance of the father, who's also a musician, Chris Nielsen, who plays saxophone and flute. And there's a long-standing Unknown Mortal Orchestra member, Jake Portrait. So they brought everything that Ruben had been thinking about together, and the result was 5. So when they talked about records that moved them, Ruben started thinking about the 70s AM radio rock and 80s pop songs that had, lurked on the edge of his subconscious music for most of his life. And he wanted to write a version of records like that. So they got started on the project, and then health issues sort of started to plague his extended family, and he helped his mother and his uncle move home from New Zealand and Portland to Hawaii and Palm Springs. So during this period, he reconnected with his relatives and, kind of reassessed his past. And he brought, started going back and forth from Palm Springs to Hawaii. And then, this record sort of was the culmination of that and that kind of mood. It's very, the songs are presented in this kind of traditional Hawaiian manner, but they're mostly sung in English. But having been influenced by Hawaiian music since Unknown Mortal Orchestra's first album, Reuben saw this space for himself within tradition. And when he reflected on his success, he realized he had a responsibility and a platform to represent this Hapa music on the global stage. I think Hapa is sort of means like half white, so it's a mixture of culture. And anyway, this is on black, or this one is the black vinyl, and then this one, it actually says it's on legendary vinyl. And, that's just another name they're calling gold vinyl. Okay. And this also comes on cassette and CD, but it's a double. And if you like their stuff in the past, he's, like I said, very talented guy, really got an ear for something different. So it's terrific. Try it out. See what you think. And then the other one I wanted to tell you about was Black Crowes. This is Shake Your Moneymaker Live, and this is on the Silver Arrow Records label. So now, in celebration of the culmination of their 2021 through 2022 reunion tour, the Black Crowes decided to put out Shake Your Moneymaker Live. It's like an ode to the band reuniting and following this epic 2-year journey of their anniversary tour with over 100 dates worldwide. The album includes the best performances from the tour of each track of the original album, Shake Your Moneymaker. So kind of like is in order of that, but just all live versions and what they consider to be the best of from all those dates that they played. And all their hits live. The record includes a bonus 7-inch with 2 tracks of the Black Crowes covering It's Only Rock and Roll But I Like It from the Rolling Stones and Rock and Roll by the Velvet Underground. So it's a pretty interesting record. Now, you can see there's no sticker, no information whatsoever, but what I can tell you is that this is a double LP and it's on green vinyl, and also the bonus 7-inch. It's not just in one of those piece of paper with, the hole cut out. It's got a proper cardboard sleeve for that 7-inch as well. And that's also on green vinyl. So those are the bonus things. But anyway, there you go. So another one that, trust me, I gave you the information, but it is listed nowhere on that album. Okay, then this is interesting. This is in Spiral Carpets, the complete singles, and this comes from Mute, which is a BMG company. And so they were formed in Oldham in 1980. And then in Spiral Carpets, they kind of rose to prominence alongside bands like the Stone Roses and the Charlatans and Happy Mondays. They were part of that Manchester scene in the late 80s and early 90s. And anyway, they've released 5 studio albums. There was Life in 1990, Beast Inside in 91, Revenge of the Goldfish in 92. I love that record. Devil Hopping in 94, and in Spiral Carpets 2014. So they achieved a lot of UK top 20 album successes along the way. The complete singles, including all their biggest hits here, features collaborations with the late great Mark E. Smith of The Fall, and John Cooper Clarke is on a song here too, plus material from their 2014 self-titled album. It's fully remastered on heavyweight black, they're calling it Midnight Licorice vinyl. Like, I don't know. What does that mean? How can that be any different than black vinyl? I don't know. But anyway, that also has new artwork and sleeve notes from past and present band members. So pretty interesting little piece of vinyl there as well if you want to go back in time. And if you want to stay well in the present, here's M83 Fantasy. This is also on Mute. And Okay, so this is a platinum selling and Grammy nominated artist, M83, returns with his ninth studio album, Fantasy. Now, whether it be via his celebrated studio albums, film soundtracks, or compositions for stage productions, M83 is basically Anthony Gonzalez. Now, they started out as a duo, I think in 1999, but anyway, soon after, the other guy left Anthony Gonzalez to basically do everything, and he's fine with that. He's proven that nothing surpasses his ability to perfectly encapsulate a specific time, emotion, or a sense of place. And for him, Fantasy's direction and aesthetic were immediately clear. He said he wanted to be very impactful live. So this was recorded with the idea of performing live. The idea was to come back with something closer to the energy of before. And he said, like, guitars and synths are always in his music, but it's more present on this new album here. And he also sought to continue the trend that has become more prominent in his recent albums. He wanted to be more present lyrically and vocally, and he thought he could achieve that. The album would be more personal than those that came before. Now this comes on black or blue marble vinyl, and the stickers look the same, but this one will tell you that it's a double vinyl limited edition blue marble, and then this sticker really just looks like that, and that's the black vinyl, okay? Then we have this, it's Real Life, and Real Life were a band, again, that had success in the 80s. They're an Australian band. They were much more popular in Australia. I kind of thought that they always should have been more popular, because they actually did have good songs, good tunes, you know. I think the one that they're most famous for was Send Me an Angel. Anyway, what this is here is, this is called Send Me an Angel, and it's on through Cleopatra. But what it is, they celebrate the return of the 80s new wave with Aussie synth superstars, Real Life, as they present these newly recorded exclusive cover versions of these blockbuster 80s songs, okay? So it includes a new version of the band's chart-topping single, Send Me an Angel, and as well as these innovative twists on things like Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, Gary Newman, Cars, New Order, Blue Monday, and more, stuff like that. So it comes on silver and purple splatter vinyl, which you can kind of get an idea of what that's going to look like here. And I just thought it was kind of an interesting thing of what else is on here. Soft Cells, Tainted Love, they do a version of that. Fade to Gray, was that Visage that did the Fade to Gray? Anyway, check it out. It's kind of an interesting piece, and the splatter vinyl is kind of cool. Now, always remember, though, that colored vinyl is much more prone to, surface noise and, what do you want to call it? Imperfections, okay? So it's a matter of taste. They're cool to have, but some people are purists and they love their black vinyl. I get it. Okay, now this is a cast recording. It's Stephen Sondheim and Sarah Bareilles, Into the Woods 2022 Broadway cast on Craft Recordings. Now this Into the Woods 2022, it's starring multi-platinum selling, Grammy-winning, and Tony Award-nominated artist Sarah Bareilles, along with cast of Broadway superstars. It's the album of the smash hit Broadway revival, featuring an enchanting score by legendary composer Stephen Sondheim. Now, Into the Woods, it turns the world of fairy tales upside down and teaches us the responsibility that comes with getting what you want. And this is a double, and it comes on opaque apple red vinyl, 2 LPs, and a 180 gram, and it has a 16-page booklet in here as well. So yeah, if you haven't ever seen Into the Woods, it's pretty great. It's as far as like if you're not into Broadway shows and all that, yeah, I get it, but that's a cool story. Okay, so now as if we needed another one, here's U2, Songs of Surrender. This is on Interscope. Now this features 16 new acoustic and reimagined recordings from the U2 catalog, produced and compiled by The Edge. It includes things like One, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, and Pride in the Name of Love. So, U2 have sold over 175 million albums. They've won 22 Grammys and released 14 studio albums. This is a 2 LP set. It's pressed on the black or the exclusive opaque white, which has the white sticker on it. So you can get that either way. Also cassette. So in the albums also have a 4-page insert featuring the liner notes from The Edge. And what else can you say? It's kind of like, I don't know, these guys the albums start to look the same. There's nothing new. It's a rehash of acoustic versions of other songs. Do we need this? I don't know, you guys. Maybe the collector, the purist does, but I don't know. Next up, this is Steven Wilson, The Raven That Refused to Sing and Other Stories. Now, this is a reissue. This originally came out in 2013. He released this, and this was his 3rd solo album. And it was a huge critical and commercial success, earning numerous 5-star reviews and charting very well across the world. I think that the sticker says it was Album of the Year in 2023, according to Prog magazine. So anyway, it was an extremely well received and very critically acclaimed each LP. So each track on this album is based on a story of the supernatural. And Alan Parsons, who had previously been involved in the creation of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, was responsible for engineering this album. So AllMusic deemed it the best of Wilson's 3 solo projects, stating that the album is skillfully written music with expertly arranged compositions of color, nuance, texture, dynamics, narrative, and artfulness, played by a group of stellar musicians. Now, that's pretty high praise. This just comes on black vinyl, and reissued now for you to get a fresh copy if you need one. Okay, so that's just a nice short stack for you. There are some other interesting new releases out, as you will see. We've got some Flaming Lips reissues, a reissue of like the 10th anniversary of Frightened Rabbit, Pedestrian Verse. There's some Motorhead reissues. Isn't there always? They're like the King Giz of metal. I feel like there's always a new Motorhead reissue coming out. There's Leon Russell, the Subhumans. There's a few Subhumans reissues that are out. And 10 years after Space and Time anniversary edition. I forget which anniversary, but pretty hefty one. And anyway, so you'll see the list I'll post below, as I said, and I hope that you're all going to stay dry this weekend. We're going to buckle down for the next storm that's rolling through next week, and keep your fingers crossed that after that we're all going to be stabilized over here, because it's getting rough. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Stay safe. See you next week.